Well, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation around Sweet Baby Inc. is continuing, and rightfully so. As promised in my previous videos, and as promised on Saturday Night Hypnosis and Hypnocast, our live streams, we talked about Sweet Baby Inc. and we said the conversation was not going to die. It was only going to continue to get worse and worse for this company, because this is one of the worst gaming companies, if you even want to call it that. It's one of the worst companies that's involved in gaming in recent history, and everything that's happening to them, all the backlash that they're experiencing, and the tantrums that they're throwing at people who are basically figuring out what they're about, we love to see it, and it needs to keep happening.
And you hate to see it. For more than that, you love to see it.
So we have an article here from Bounding Into Comics with a headline that reads, Sweet Baby Inc. staff throw tantrum after Steam curator list created to track and warn players against their work. Now, we made a video on Chris Kindred, right? The first person who was deemed to be throwing a tantrum. And now we have a video that we're going to make today about Lego Butts, because Lego Butts, oh, it gets really interesting with this person. And, you know, the ties to Sweet Baby Inc. and Gamergate, the initial Gamergate, is very strong. And it seems like they are going to cause Gamergate 2.0. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So it says, despite building an entire business on forcefully injecting identity politics into video games, employees of the inclusion-focused, keyword inclusion-focused, narrative consultation company Sweet Baby Inc. are absolutely livid that a Steam user has begun taking steps to ensure the public knows exactly which specific titles that they've worked on. Now, really quick, I'm going to announce in this video and every other video about Sweet Baby Inc., ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce that the curator who made that Steam group is going to be on Saturday Night Hypnosis this week, ladies and gentlemen. So we invited him onto the show. He's going to speak about everything that's going on with this entire company, and I think it's going to be awesome. So do not miss that live stream. It says a self-described inclusion-focused narrative and consultation company, Sweet Baby Inc.'s main objective is to review and edit a given video script through the lens of diversity and inclusion. Essentially, they're hired for fake jobs, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be real. They're hired to do things that nobody likes. They're hired to change scripts. They're hired to change writing. They're hired to change a whole bunch of things. They are the woke consultation company. That's what they are. If you need something to get woke, go to Sweet Baby Inc. and they will make it so, and you'll have to pay them to do it and ruin your game. It's amazing. It's amazing that these gaming companies are utilizing a company like this that is actively anti-consumer, that is actively anti-gamer for that matter, and they use these companies and pay them money on top of that too in order to ruin their games. I just don't understand it. I really don't. It has to be money related, obviously. It has to be about funding. It has to be about ESG scores. There has to be something much more rotten deep down in order for these companies to use a company like Sweet Baby Inc., knowing that it's only going to hurt their image and their product in the end. It says, our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry, writing the company on their official website. We aim to make games more engaging, which they don't, more fun, which they don't, more meaningful, which they don't, and more inclusive, which they don't, because they all put the same exact nonsense. So it's not actually inclusive. There's no diversity at all. There's no diversity of thought. They're just putting the same shit over and over and over like the Marvel MCU and expecting it to suddenly succeed. That just doesn't work that way. It says, we believe that representation is key to connecting players and audiences, and we offer a new way to help our team and project gain the perspective needed to make it happen. It's amazing how there have been so many, and I don't even know how many, to be honest with you. There's been so many video games over the last few decades, legendary games, massively legendary games, right? They were able to be projects that have come to light and be successful, and yet didn't need fake diversity in order to make it happen, right? Because that's what they're saying here. They believe representation is key to connecting players and audiences, and they offer a few ways to help the team and project gain the perspective needed to make it happen. So I guess the project, it's just impossible for a project to be successful these days unless you have some diversity coach right next to you. That's what they're saying. So how the hell did all these other projects that released over the last few decades be so successful? Why are they so much more memorable, and all these modern diverse games that have come out have been so forgettable? It makes you wonder, Their mission statement continues: we're part of an inclusive and knowledgeable community, highly doubt you're knowledgeable, of diverse consultants able to cover a wide range of cultural and sensitivity topics. Our approach leads with the creation of joy in marginalized creation of joy in marginalized players and seeks to be additive rather than strictly corrective. Yeah, you are not additive at all, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be real. They take things out of the game and they throw in fake diverse things into the game to make up for it. They don't know. Creation of joy in marginalized players. Who is a marginalized player, ladies and gentlemen? Can you imagine trying to sit down and play a video game and think of yourself as a marginalized player? Really? We're at that level of victimhood now that we're making people into marginalized players. You really think this is marginalized? Really? When you have characters and buildings in Spider-Man that have nothing but LGBTQ fake flags that shouldn't be flown at all in this fucking country, you have all of these flags here, and you really mean to tell me that these gamers are marginalized? Really? Really? Okay, interesting. Most notably, Sweet Baby Inc. has provided sensitivity reading, which is a fake job, by the way, for Alan Wake 2 and Goodbye Volcano High, narrative and character consultation with a focus on representation for God of War Ragnarok, story consultation for Marvel Spider-Man 2, and script writing duties, including cutscenes and banter for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which we all know they absolutely killed. It says they have also provided unspecified support to Xbox Game Studios, EA, Valve, Santa Monica Studio, 2K, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Warner Bros. Games, Wizards of the Coast, and more. Now, a lot of people have the issue with Square Enix in particular, and this is because of the conversation surrounding Tifa and the censorship of her boobs, right? People were blaming Sweet Baby Inc. for this. Whether that is the case or not, we will never probably know at this point because there's so much backlash surrounding the company that they're basically in hiding at this point. But I do think that Sweet Baby Inc. definitely consulted Square Enix at some point and has begun to make the changes over the last few games that released, which is why they retroactively censored her in Remake. They didn't censor her in the new games because she was already censored. So they went back to the original game and censored it, which is probably through consultation from Sweet Baby Inc. It says, in light of both their self-declared mission and the many questionable narrative decisions seen in the games they've worked on, such as the race swapping of the Norse god Angrboda in God of War Ragnarok, or pretty much every piece of dialogue in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, recent years have seen Sweet Baby Inc. come to be seen as a key player in the Western video game industry's ongoing deference to ESG and DEI philosophies. To this end, the tail end of February 2024 saw an unsatisfied player create a public Steam curated page aptly titled Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, with the intent of warning others regarding which titles available on the platform feature the company's handiwork. Alongside marking each relevant title as not recommended, the page also provides proof, offers screenshots of the company's own website and tweets of Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in a given title. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is fantastic. I think we need to have these curated pages that showcase companies like this. Listen, if you're so proud of your fake-ass diversity, equity, and inclusion, then clearly you should not be, number one, in hiding like you are now. Number two, you shouldn't be mad about a curated page existing showcasing video games that your company specifically had a hand in some way, shape, or form. You shouldn't be mad about that. You shouldn't be mad about that, because even if it's listed as not recommended, that doesn't mean that people won't buy the game. So that means that you know that if people know about what's happening in these games, that they're not going to buy it. That's the beautiful thing about all this, because if you were really truthful and believe that this stuff was going to lead to sales, you would not be upset about someone showcasing these games and marking them as not recommended, which still makes them possible to purchase just by knowing about them. So that means that you know this ideology turns people off. You know this is not what people actually want to see or enjoy, and you know that this is going to ruin your sales in the future. So congratulations, Sweet Baby Inc. The fuckery will continue. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.